Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. It's now my pleasure to be joined by Brett Chasson, who is the manager of certified athletic trainers at Terrebonne General Health System. Brett, thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate you having me on.
All right. Of course, a couple weeks ago, we had a very scary event that unfolded on NFL over national TV with Damar Hamlin, the NFL player for Buffalo Bills, who was injured and had to be resuscitated on air. And even when they announced who was doing all the CPR and everything, it kind of surprised me that that it would be the athletic trainers would be the first ones on the scene, in charge of something that severe, and they're the ones who are really the heroes of the day.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that, we kind of work a lot behind the scenes. When somebody gets hurt on the field or something like that on TV, the athletic trainers will go ahead and run out, help the kid out or athlete out, whoever it ends up being, and then, we get them to the sideline, and typically there's a doctor on the sideline that helps out with the evaluation if it's something major. But if it's something that's, we can take care of or we have expertise in, the doctors, hey, you do this on a daily basis over here working with the kids and everything like that. They pretty much say, hey, let's go ahead and have at it. Let's get it going. So.
Okay. And for the, just the overall role, what exactly is the scope of an athletic trainer?
So an athletic trainer is an allied healthcare professional. We are supervised by a medical physician. Even though we're not working with that medical physician every single day, we have standing orders of, what we can do, what we can't do, and we have to work within our scope of practice. The biggest thing is that we're there for the active population. Most of the people see us for athletes, but we're there for the active population. We do, treatments, rehab, emergency care. Most of the time people don't see us doing the emergency care, but that really came to light, with the Damar Hamlin thing. And we do a lot of training and preparation, trying to prevent injuries before they do occur, but we're also prepared for those emergency situations when they do occur to handle it in an efficient manner where we can go ahead and get them to the next level of care as soon as possible in a safe manner.
All right. And as a day-to-day, everyday activities, what is your normal day-to-day as an athletic trainer?
So pretty much the biggest thing is we're working with the athletes, the active population, with whatever they have going on. If it's an injury, we're trying to rehab that injury, keeping the coaches updated, keeping the parents updated, keep everybody, knowing exactly what's going on at that time. This is how we're expecting this athlete to go ahead and progress. If somebody's not progressing, like we think they need to be, we definitely refer them on to the next level of care, or we update the doctor, hey, this is what you expected. After a week with working with this injury in conjunction with you, we're not really seeing that right now. What would you like us to do? Would you like us to follow up over there? Would you like us to change something up? So biggest thing is communicating with everybody, coaches, parents, physicians, and handling that rehab, emergency care on a daily basis.
Now, does it ever go so far as to speaking with coaches as to telling them, when it's not okay for them to play, or do you get into that at all?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we take the message from the physician whenever we get documentation from, hey, coach, he's out 2 weeks per the physician. If it's something that's minor, hey, coach, he's going to be day-to-day over the next couple of days based upon how he's progressing along. Or if it's something that, hey, coach, he can go ahead and start working on his cardio, but he can't do contact right now. So we try to give modifications where the athlete can do the activities that they can, but also in a safe manner.
Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of confusion about exactly, what an athletic trainer does exactly. Is there any, big misconception that you see that happens a lot?
Our biggest thing really is most of the time whenever somebody outside of the sports realm thinks of an athletic trainer, they think of a personal trainer. They think that we work inside of a gym, we assist people with working out, trying to get them healthy and everything like that, in which we do have a background of, rehab, knowing the body, knowing how to get people healthier, but that's not our main scope of what we do on a daily basis. We have more of a medical background than a personal trainer to handle emergency situations, kind of like the Damar Hamlin, prepping kids, doing the rehabs and things like that. So we're more the medical side compared to the personal training side.
Okay, and what when you you do your level of care, when does that level of care stop, and when do you decide that you have to pass it on to someone else?
So it just all depends on the situation. You know, if we have, you know, fractures, you know, somebody passes out, things like that, you know, unconsciousness, we need to go ahead and get that kid on to, you know, the next level of care. If it's something like a minor ankle sprain, we can go ahead, evaluate the athlete, update the parent, the coach, say, hey, you know, we believe this is a minor sprain. Based upon my standing orders by the physician, you know, we can go ahead, monitor this overnight, see how you're progressing. If you're progressing along, we can do some rehab at school, and as long as you keep progressing, we can work your way back to return to activity. The biggest thing before you return back to activity is you need to pass a functional test. You need to make sure your range of motion's good, your strength's good. You can do all the movements required to go ahead and play that sport in a safe manner. If you can't, you know, run and cut, then how am I supposed to allow you to go ahead and go back to sports? So that's one of those things that we try to handle as much as we can at the school with our within our scope. But you know, there are times that they do have to go ahead and get referred on to the next level of care.
Okay, and the functional test that you admit, that's what you were talking about, the running and cutting. And
Running,
you get
cutting, jumping, make sure that they can do sport-specific movements. Because like I said, if you can't do that with just me watching, you know, in the athletic training room, what's the odds that you could be able to perform that in practice or in a game without being susceptible to more injury?
How do you become an athletic trainer? What do you need?
So back in the day, it used to be a 4-year degree, in which that's kind of what I went through. Ended up going to Nichols and got my 4-year degree in athletic training. But recently, they switched everything to a master's degree program.
Okay.
So now Nichols still does have a pre-athletic training route, but you have to go on to another school to go ahead and get your master's degree. So overall, you're having to go to 6+ years of schooling in order to go ahead and be an athletic trainer. And the biggest thing is, you know, once you get into your athletic training master's degree, there's tons and tons of clinical hours associated with all of your learning and education, but also to get that hands-on knowledge of working with your college athletes at your school, but also working in different settings in the doctor's office and high schools in that local area as well.
Wow, I didn't realize that they had moved it all the way up to you know, the master's degree. That's a tremendous amount of education. Of course, you go into not only the treating the injuries, but also preventative measures. Can you explain a little bit about that and what kind of practice that goes into?
So, you know, preventative medicine is, most people think of, you know, arm care for baseball, shin splints with track, doing some mobility with the lower legs. But it's also preventative medicine as in, you know, creating an emergency action plan for if an emergency does arise. We have an emergency action plan at each high school if an emergency occurs during an athletic event. You know, where is EMS going to go ahead and come through with this gate? Who has keys to open up that gate after hours? Where is the AED located? All of those things are preventative measures to go ahead and help save somebody's life that we prep for in advance. We rehearse yearly to go ahead and make sure that we have positive outcomes if something does occur in an emergency manner.
Well, it's good to know that y'all are there. And again, Terrebonne General is the one that supplies the certified athletic trainers to the schools in Terrebonne Parish. Can you tell us a little bit about how they go about doing that?
So pretty much within Terrebonne Parish, we have 7, you know, local high schools, and we have a certified athletic trainer that goes to each high school every single day. And we provide, you know, the care to the kids. We're at practices, we're at games on a daily basis. It's one of those things that people don't understand, that while we're providing care at the school, not only is it helping the athletes, but it's also helping, you know, the regular population. It's helping those kids be healthy in the future. We're trying to be there for not only our community now, but our community in the future. If we have a ton of athletes that are going to the emergency room for little bumps and bruises, that's going to extend the amount of wait time for your normal person that's in the emergency room. So we're able to go ahead, evaluate the kid during that time, tell the parent, hey, you know, if you do need further care, we can go ahead and assist you with that. But if you don't need further care, with the next level of care, we can go ahead and help treat you right there. And that's going to go ahead and be efficient for not only that athlete, but for the patients that are in the ER at that time as well.
Well, so it seems it's not just a 9 to 5 job. I guess you got to go, like you said earlier, you got to be out late tonight at different games as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the times definitely vary. Most of the time during school days, the kids are in school, so we don't have access to them in the middle of school. But towards the end of the day, most of the athletes have PE. So we're there for the PE hour to go ahead and assist with rehabs. After school, the kids that don't have PE at the end of the day, they come in for their rehabs, prepping, taping. Then we go out to practices. Once practices are over with, that's typically when the games start. So tonight, I'll go ahead and we got basketball and soccer going on. So I'll be at all those games tonight till probably about 10 o'clock tonight, and then just restart the next day.
Oh, Lord. Not a lot of sleep, I don't guess.
No.
All right. How many, I guess you had mentioned there's 7 in this area that they go to the high school. Is there, a lack of athletic trainers, or is there a surplus in this area?
So the biggest thing is we have 7 full-time people. We have 2 part-time people on our staff. So, if somebody can't make an event, or we have multiple events going on, we try to have somebody everywhere. The biggest thing that people don't realize in Terrebonne Parish is, all of our schools are pretty much, they don't have all their playing locations on the same campus. So HL, they have, practices and all at school, but they play at Tom B. Smith at Terrebonne. So when they have basketball going on, they have soccer going on at the same time, that person can't be there, all at the same time. And Ellender and South Terrebonne as well, they don't have all their playing fields back on campus because the school's still all messed up. So baseball, softballs, all going on at the same time, and we're trying to be multiple places at once. And it's a tough task, but we try to be as efficient as possible and try to be as many places as possible at the same time.
Well, it sure is. Sure is a tough task as well. And again, it can go from just, your normal sprains that you're dealing with to something as serious as what we saw. We talked about it earlier, Damar Hamlin incident that occurred in the NFL. Can you just give us your thoughts on what you saw as it unfolded?
So biggest thing, that's one of those things that, we always read about in textbooks whenever we prep in, doing our emergency preparedness classes and everything in school. It's one of those things that, for somebody, the odds are probably win the lottery twice, more than that'll happen again. But people have to realize that we are prepared to handle those type of situations if they do arise, even though it's a once-in-a-lifetime injury that you'll probably end up going to see.
And it's amazing, I guess, how fast that they can respond, and you got to have that training. I guess that all goes to preventative measures, to have that training to where it's just instinct when that event happens, you know what to do.
Yes, exactly it.
All right. Well, thank you, Brett, for coming on. We certainly learned a lot, and we wish you luck, and hopefully you get a little bit of sleep tonight.
I appreciate it.
All right. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.